Kajagugu and Too Shy, good morning. Thanks for having us on. It's the Morning Drive, and we are going live on Facebook. We are talking about SG Heart and Soul Experience. We've got Don Richmond with us, the music director for the experience, and Liana Gurung, who is the senior manager, content and creative team for the experience. Good morning, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Awesome stuff. So let's start with this. When you guys first started to conceptualize this experience for Heart and Soul, what feelings, what memories of Singapore did you hope would come through?
Yeah. So I think basically the Heart and Soul Showcase is this very future-oriented, multi-sensory, immersive experience. We basically wanted to create a Singapore that people could imagine themselves in. So something that would fill them with a sense of hope, optimism, a sense of assurance that they have a place in this future.
Okay.
In terms of memories, even though it's a very future-oriented showcase, we still wanted to kind of pay homage, commemorate, celebrate the past. So actually we do have our first feature actually in Heart and Soul it's called Wheels of Time. It's actually this look at Singapore's history of telecommunications, our own communication story. And one thing we wanted to be very deliberate about was actually featuring oral histories, but from people everyday Singaporeans who lived through those moments, those early moments of our independence story.
Right.
Yeah, so actually very cool. We have our oral history from one of the men who marched in the very first National Day Parade, Mr. Yo Hong Eng.
What?
Yeah, so he's talking about how he was soaked to the skin. Actually, when you hear it, you can hear the emotion in his voice as well.
Right.
So that was really something we tried to be quite deliberate about, which is spotlighting actually everyday Singaporeans like you and me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yes, very cool indeed. You know what? I have to say that when it comes to like the National Day parades, right? Even if you're a spectator or even if you're down there, I marched in one of the years.
You marched in
I marched.
I didn't know that.
I was the right marker, okay,
Wow.
for the Singapore Girl Guides.
I was just about to say Singapore Girl Guides. That is so you.
No, but you really get swept up in it. There's something about it, even if you're someone who's like, National Day. But once you're there, be it on the field or in the spectator seats, right, you really get swept up in it.
I have been a spectator once, and it is moving.
Very.
You suddenly, we're all Singaporeans, and we
That's
go,
right,
they're proud to be a Singaporean. We say it.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting there and you're watching that parade, you suddenly feel it.
Yeah. It's a collective experience.
Yeah, it's collective experience.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that,
and Don, you're involved in a lot of those National Day parades, but here we're getting you to talk about, how your involvement in the SG60 Heart and Soul experience. What has the writing process been like? Has it changed? Does it stay the same after all these years? Because you've been doing it for so many years.
Yeah, something like National Day Parade has a certain blueprint and infrastructure. So, something like that's already in place. But for something like Heart and Soul, really was something that was a shot in the dark to begin with. When we were told what it was, the very first thing I realized was there was going to be a huge visual experience, but yet everything you hear is going to be on headphones. So even technically, composing, I did most of my composition on the very same headphones that was given out to all our visitors. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the very first thing I needed to have to know that kind of like experience and just composing from the ground up that way. You see? And I know that with the Heart and Soul, you're trying to connect people to their past, their present, and their future. But how do you tell the idea of a future, especially if something's going to be visually like telling that it's the future, but the one thing that anchors everything is always music, you see? So I tend to want music to ground the experience more than anything else.
Yes.
That was, I think, the most important thing for me from the get-go.
See, this is a professional speaking. He even wears the headphones that you will be using just to make sure that the experience, the music experience, is accurate
It's also
as to
because
how it will be for when you go.
He also didn't want to go out and buy his own headphones.
That's what it is. That's the first thing I did was like, can I get a pair of the headphones, please?
You see,
someone send it to me.
No, the question is, can I keep?
This is it, This is two Eurasians understanding.
That's what it is. Yeah, straight away I was like, hey, free headphones.
Okay, Liana, you know what? We'll just have the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to head on over to our Facebook Live, and there's where we're going to reveal our Facebook Live question as well, where, hey, you could stand a chance to win for yourself a pair of tickets to SG60's Heart and Soul experience. We've got 10 pairs to give away. Come and join us on Facebook Live.
1FM.
Okay, let's keep this going. So, this music that you composed for this experience,
Yeah.
how do you, as a composer, how do you reach everybody from children to a 70-year-old?
Well, I think if you start from that point of view of like, oh, everyone has to get it, chances are no one's going to get it.
Okay.
You're right. So you have to, first of all, do something that makes sense to you, and also to the creative team. So there's a lot of like back and forth, with the graphic designers, with the directors and all that. So I think a lot of that is to find some sort of common language. So for me, it's designing what the instruments are going to be, and also melodic motives as well that run through the entire experience. You might not, the average visitor might not experience it, but I think there is an overarching sort of like a sort of umbrella of sounds and music that sort of encapsulates the entire experience. And so that for me is the very first thing I kind of go, okay, I want to create a world within this world. And that made more sense to me rather than if I wanted to do it like, oh, would a 7-year-old get it or would a 97-year-old get it? I think you are setting a really big trap for yourself.
Okay, cool.
But we can already tell what the challenges were, in bringing this experience to life. You know, this next question, it uses a lot of the experience itself uses a lot of like generative AI, really personalizing, each person, the 7-year-old's experience and the 97-year-old's experience. When working with this generative AI and also immersive storytelling, did any of the technology ever surprise you? Give you ideas you hadn't considered? And what was the most surprising creative moment for both of you? Let me start with Liana first.
Yeah, sure. I think working with generative AI is in itself a surprise. Like you can never be fully certain what's going to come out. So that for us, I think was something creative we had to work around. So it was a constraint that basically I think helped to inform a lot of our own approach to Gen AI. So I would say the surprise to us actually was the approach we ended up taking, which I think was something that we had to kind of create as we went along. So it was quite a human-led approach. Because initially when we were using generative AI, you have a lot of the common pitfalls. I've got extra finger down here, got a lot of random limbs, and you kind of need to stare at the photo to figure out if it's fully kosher.
That's hilarious.
So in the end, we actually went with like a more human-led approach, which means that we looked at scenarios. So actually what the generative AI is trained on is basic ideas, innovations, plans from over 100 partners that we then kind of enfolded into different scenarios. So we have over 2,000 scenarios that are anchored by these ideas and plans that we also went back with partners, iterated on. And then with generative AI, which became this kind of multiplier, we created over about 3 million permutations that people could receive in the showcase to really try and create that personalized experience.
Oh my goodness.
So it was really a mix of, I think, being surprised at what came out, trying to figure out actually what we wanted our visitors to experience, and then trying to create an approach that then was able to use generative AI to achieve those outcomes.
What was the most surprising thing that came out of it?
I think it's really the extra limbs. And it's really extra limbs.
Seriously?
I mean,
what you ended up with Lee Kuan Yew with 2 heads?
Not Lee Kuan Yew, but one of our fellow content creator team members who had to sacrifice themselves for the testing purposes. And
so this all happened during your testing phase?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, this one is
we tested our way out of here. But I think also it's the amount of testing that needs to be done when using generative AI. I think that also surprised me. Coming into the showcase, creating this data set and going like, how come the data so good, but then this come out like this? But it was something that our tech team was also amazing. We worked with Accenture as well. So together we kind of created something that I think, honestly, if you go there now, I think like I'm also still surprised at how realistic it can look when people receive the personalized trailer. Actually, when you look at the trailers, you can really pick out who the visitors are when you see. So I think there is something, So I mean, it could be something interesting for users. But I think it's always very cool when you see people kind of pointing each other out when they come in groups. So I think that's something really nice to see with this technology.
Okay, so tip number 1, go in a group. It'll be extra fun, extra interesting. You know what? The extra limbs and all that, right? The generative AI is saving it for your other experience, the Singapore X-Men.
Yeah, that's right. It is. Mutants
down
of the
road,
future, right?
Yes, the next one. Yeah, okay.
Singapore's evolution. So, Don, when you were working with generative AI, is it difficult then envisioning music to go with it?
Absolutely, because what I had to work with, sometimes, like, say, for example, like Windows in the Sky, I had working visuals of like maybe even the background, and then and so I'm looking at it going, okay, what should I do? What are people doing? And then so I'm just getting fed information of like they might be doing this, they might be doing that. So there's no actual confirmation of what these generated AI avatars are going to be doing. So it's just a very general guide of like so I had to work backwards that way of like kind of like having to imagine it. There's certain times I get sent videos where it's a still shot, not even colored, like so we call it animatics. So you just get like a rough drawing of like, oh, this is what happens when the MRT crosses the screen, right? But still, you somehow you cannot imagine the scale of it, because I get a video that's like trying to be scale, right, which is like the entire room. But then when you scale it down to a video on a screen, the video is about this small. So having to work around that sort of limitations, and you just have to really try your best to have to get a lot of help, calling people and going, okay, what happens here? What happens there? Right? Because we don't have the generative AI yet, you see. So it was working backwards that way, and sometimes in the dark. But that was, it was a happy challenge to have.
Then can I ask just really quickly for Dawn? So you had all those challenges, a lot of like trying to just like figure it out. When you finally went, I'm sure you've gone to the exhibition, both of you, right?
Yes.
How was it like for you?
I mean, it was, it was everything that was promised to me.
Okay.
Right, because because they were like, don't worry, when this happens, this, it will all sing together. And I'm like, really? Okay, because I'm like hoping and just sort of like, but when you're there, especially for me, it was windows in the sky, right? And because it's such a huge, like, it's the entire room. So looking at the video, and of course, the Easter egg will always be spotting yourself, your avatar. So I saw my avatar doing yoga, which
doing yoga.
Yeah.
Taking that up.
Do you do yoga?
I do not.
Yes.
So,
but
so
it's
perhaps,
aspirational, right?
Yes,
It's aspirational, right?
It's something in the future for me. Yes.
Hey, just in 2026, New Year around the corner.
Yes, right. So now I have to.
Now you have to do.
I have to, because my generated AI version of myself was doing yoga.
I feel like Liana set this up.
I think so.
You
Right?
do know that once we go to this exhibition and we come back, you doing yoga is going to be a topic on radio. You
Yes.
know this, right?
Yes, of course.
We will expect you. We'll have you back here and check on your yoga progression. Okay. Yes.
So you've been composing music for how long now? 20 years?
I would say my first commercial release was 1998. So.
And how old were you then?
Yeah, but I'm really bad at math, so like
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
A couple of decades.
It's been a while.
And you've used different mediums.
Yes.
Has your understanding of the Singapore identity and the narrative changed over time?
Actually,
definitely.
we'll have you answer the question, because we're going to hop back on air.
Let's do
So
this.
come and join us, everyone, on 1FM 91.3.
Okay, let me put that question to you
Yes.
another way while we fade out on Wallflowers, because really not one of my favorite songs. Sorry,
like
boss.
that, nah,
Sorry,
like that.
boss. But here we go. So you've been doing this, you've been composing for a couple of decades, you've used different mediums. I asked the question, has your understanding of the Singapore identity and narrative changed? And has it shaped how you worked for this project?
Definitely. I think it's one of those things. When you started out young, I really started out really imitating all the people that I love, right? And they say, yes, it's the highest form of flattery, but it was the only way I knew how to compose and work.
Okay.
Then after a while, you get to a certain point of saturation where you just take a step back and there is a breakthrough in which you understand, first of all, your place in this world, and then your place in this world is in this little red dot, and it's this whole idea of well, then what do I say? What do I, because I don't know if I can write another verse of like something that's a derivative of something else that's from somewhere, I think honestly, when it first happened to me was I think the first time I did National Day, and that was really the very first time I had to take a step back to kind of like think about what is it that I do that's going to set me apart from everybody else, every other composer. I think it was my voice and finding the Singaporean within me as well, in the music that I write. So ever since then, I've been steadily very conscious about it. So with the Heart and Soul experience, it's also the same. It's really just trying to find the heart of what is, the story here, the story we're trying to tell.
Yeah,
sure.
For sure.
Can I ask, Liana, I mean, given your role in this whole project, I mean, what was some of the biggest challenge and what is the most memorable thing about working on the SG60 Heart and Soul experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe just shout out to Don first for the music, because I realized that you're creating in a vacuum, because I remember,
it's true.
But actually, every bar we heard from, because I think you would share your music iteratively as well.
Yeah.
When we heard it, I think we felt a lot of excitement, but we had no idea of how it was going to combine as well.
Right.
So actually, I remember the first time we actually saw Windows in the Sky, which is also on the smaller screen. We couldn't approximate the eventual experience.
Right.
But I remember gathering together in this small space and then seeing the video play out with the music coming along as well. And it was just a totally different experience that I think was amazing. Like, it was super emotional. I didn't realize
my new best friend.
Yeah, it was awesome. I just wanted to shout out.
A little bit of a fangirling going on here.
Because I had the opportunity to tell you in person like how much I appreciate the music.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, but
for telling me on air.
You see,
On
this
air.
is the power of radio. All this comes out.
The real reason why she's here.
That's right.
yes,
Praise
when they were
you
like
on
an interview with Don
public
Richmond,
radio,
sign
yes.
me up. Okay. Just kidding, I don't. But sorry, but in terms of creative constraints, So actually one of the elements of the showcase I was involved in was called the Library Superstore. So actually it's a part that comes after Windows in the Sky, which is the hero component. So you see kind of these macro plans play out before you.
Sure.
But Library Superstore is where you can kind of get a little bit down and dirty with some of the actual products.
Right.
So here we have blown up, taken some of these ideas from about 50 different partners and created an emporium of products. So I think some of the challenge, some of the excitement as well was working together with these partners. It was an immense project. There were two other members who were with me on this particular item.
Yeah.
And I think just working with the different agencies, partners, trying to ensure that we represented their ideas accurately, that they were also on board with us. I think it was both a challenge as well as something that was quite gratifying, I think, ultimately at the end. But I think it was just kind of maintaining these relationships, trying to create something that everyone felt that they had a stake in and was a part of. Yeah.
My goodness, you guys have your stamp on something so significant with this SG60, Heart and Soul experience. In fact, we have got tickets for everyone. There's actually two components to it. There's a ticketed experience and a non-ticketed experience. We'll tell you more as we go along, but hey, we've got 10 pairs of tickets to give away to the ticketed one that takes place at the Orchard Library. And I'm just going to give you the website so that you can find out more. Head on over to heartandsoul.gov.sg. We're going back to Facebook Live to chat some more.
FD and Lavinia on.
Okay.
We got a question for Don on our Facebook. I love this question. This is so real.
Oh,
This is real. So Don, this is the question. Huh?
Okay,
Don,
alright.
how many bad songs do you have to write before you get a good one?
Wow. Okay. I'm still trying to find the good one, man. So
humble.
It really
Heart
feels
and
like
Soul was
it's
great.
it really feels like it's been bad my entire life, But it's true. It's you. I think you are your own worst critic, right? So a lot of the times, you have no idea how many 30-second ideas I have that's exists on my computer that never get developed because it doesn't pass that first gate of like, I really don't like this. But sometimes push comes to shove, and I think with time and sort of like a deadline, that's the thing that pushes you through. And I've learned to work with deadlines very well, but it's a constant struggle of like, self-critique and like knowing you can do better, So it's to answer how many bad songs I have to write before I write one that is satisfactory, I wouldn't say good. 10 bad ones before you get one that you kind of go, it's okay.
Is it true where you wake up at 2:00 in the morning and you've got a song idea?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of good ideas very strangely come to me in the shower while I'm like scrubbing myself.
Lucky you said the shower. I was going to say sitting on the toilet, but yeah. Okay, cool.
Yes. I'm glad that
Because
it's
I
in the
get a lot
shower.
of good ideas sitting on the toilet.
I just want to distract from that. So, there's a lot of waterproof writing materials now. It's very fantastic for those who get creative in the shower.
Oh, I just run out because I have this melody that I'm kind of humming, and I go, I need something to record. So my phone is close by, but I'm still trying to like towel myself off. It's a very ugly scene.
No, but something beautiful comes out of it.
At the end of the day.
That is okay.
Yes.
So let's talk more about the experience itself. Maybe, Liana, you can actually share with us, what do you hope for a child, visiting the Heart and Soul today will remember 20 years from now?
I think you were mentioning just now about how one pro tip is to come with a group of people, right? So actually we're in the season where there are a lot of school visits happening at the moment. So actually it's quite cute to come down, head into Windows in the Sky and see these classes of children just there, and they're all kind of laughing at each other, pointing it out. So I really hope that they take this memory of kind of speaking, chatting, laughing with their friends with them, and also I think seeing themselves as the star of this national showcase. So I hope that's something that they think back on 20 years from now and they're like, hey, that was the time I was the star. Yeah,
I was part of this.
I was part of this. Yeah. Precisely. Yeah.
Goodness. Do you think if you were to go multiple times, each time your experience would be different?
Yes,
it would be, right?
That's right. So even if so, actually we have this component in the very first kind of boarding experience that we have, where we ask you some personality quiz questions.
Ooh.
Yeah. So from there, actually, that personalizes the experience for you. So even if you were to come again and select the exact same responses, you still get a different experience each time.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
That's
very clever.
interesting.
Don, if someone visited this exhibition and halfway through they closed their eyes, so there were no visuals, what do you hope they'll see through your music?
Wow. Well, I just hope if they can close their eyes and I hope they don't close their eyes because it's a great, multimedia experience. But if they were to close their eyes, I hope they will be able to recognize the tapestry of sounds that is in the music. There are even strains of Majula Singapura that come in and out that may surprise you. But these are all tiny little Easter eggs that I put in there. I would say it's for me and the creative team, but for visitors to be able to spot it will be great. But with that said, I hope you don't come to the to Heart and Soul and then close your eyes and try to spot it, because that of course
it would spoil it.
Takes you away from the entire experience.
They can do that on their second visit.
You can try that,
Come again.
I'm thinking.
I was just going to be banging to everyone. Don't do that. Just, don't close your eyes. What? Yeah.
No, because sometimes we work with music all the time. So sometimes I'm in an environment and I shut my eyes and I try to imagine how the music speaks to me.
Absolutely.
And then when you open your eyes and then suddenly that's where you get that second impression.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes,
and things start to change because you've focused on the music for a while. I find
that's
it very
that's another pro tip for the experience. 1, go in groups. 2, stand somewhere out of the way.
Then
you close your eyes for a bit and then experience the music. Then open it.
So
right?
you experience it visual and music. Then close your eyes and just focus on the music. Then open your eyes and experience it.
And if you see this very, wonderful gentleman doing it, it's probably FD.
It's what I do. It is what I do. Okay. This is getting away from the exhibition or experience itself. Don, there are many young people today who are trying their hand at music in Singapore, whether it is performing or whether it is writing. What do you say to them? Because you've come a long way. I remember when you first started, I went, wow, this is where little Donzi is going.
Is that his nickname?
Yeah, that's what my family calls me. FD's a friend of the family,
So we cannot. So Liana.
no, you can. Anytime you can call me Donzi. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Donzi.
What do you say to these young people as they get
I think if there's even one tip, is to find your original voice. That's really I found what I was good at at a relatively early age, where I kind of recognize, this could be something that I do, but I ended up still imitating a lot of the heroes that I know, and that's how we all learn, right? It's just from imitation, right? But I think a lot of it is just trying to find what is it about your voice that is special, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you imitate anyone, you're really just going to be a pale comparison of the original. So it really, if there's one advice that I give to anyone that I meet when they ask me about starting in music, is thinking about what you can express as yourself. Because if you are yourself intrinsically, you are already original. There's nobody else that sounds like you.
Right.
Interesting.
We actually have two more questions. The next one is for Liana, but before we're going to do that on air. But before we go, I just want to share with everyone, hey, answer the very simple question that we have got scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Where is the SG60 Heart and Soul experience taking place? And if you need some clues, okay, take that clue. I was going to give the website, but fine. Because we've got 10 pairs to the experience that we want to give away. Is your cough okay now?
Sorry.
Okay, we're going to head back. And remember, there's a ticketed experience and also a non-ticketed installation series. That is at level 1 of Orchard Central and... There you go. So remember, it's your chance to experience Singapore's vision for tomorrow through this immersive experience. Come, we're going to head back on air right now. Come and join us.
The Straits Times, 180 years of news you can trust. Online at straitstimes.com.
Let's go! We get you going. The Flying Dutchman and Lavinia on the Morning Drive. Weekdays 6 to 10. 1FM 91.3.
So I have a question for Liana. What do you hope Heart and Soul teaches visitors about listening, not just to Singapore, but to each other?
Wow.
Whoa.
Good question.
Oh, you got to
So take a moment. Take a moment.
I think basically in the Heart and Soul,
Yes.
it's both immersive and individual experience, but
Yes.
it's also a collective experience.
Right.
So I think it's probably about, I think very similar to what Dawn was saying just now, about kind of leaning into your individuality and celebrating that. But I think at the same time, still seeing yourself as part of this broader tapestry, this sense of your story has a place in the stories of other Singaporeans. So actually at the very end, you have the opportunity to, as you return your audio guide,
Yes.
also see your own book cover kind of pop up with your name on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think again that kind of like I guess simulates your own story, listening to your own story, but also seeing that story get shelved among the stories of other people. Yeah, so
Very cool.
yeah, so I mean, So
That's a very
listening to yourself,
that's
but
a
also
very
listening to
important
others.
thing that happens, to
Yeah.
see that book, your name on the book, and then it gets shelved like, wow.
I'm curious if
Yes.
the whole experience. How long does it take me to cover the whole experience?
I would say if you want to take your time to explore
Yeah,
everything,
taking your time,
about an hour
yeah.
and a half is about safe, especially if you want to hit level 1.
Right.
There are lots of really cool things in level 1 as well.
Oh.
So if let's say levels 3 and 4 are about looking at the future,
Sure.
actually level 1, you kind of take a peek at the past. So we do have a generative AI element on level 1 called Time Traveler. So that actually situates you in archival photographs. So National Library Board is also together with the National Archives of Singapore. So we've also worked together to kind of pull together a repository of photographs from different time periods in Singapore's past.
Nice.
And with Gen AI, you can kind of be maybe a food hawker from the 1940s, or you can participate in a Chingay parade. It can be like a lion dancer.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool, really, really cute. Watch out for your sixth finger in this one also. So it's meant to be like an educational component as well, to teach people a bit more about
Yes.
generative AI, but while also trying it out in a fun, safe, kind of guided environment. Yeah.
I like the way that you do have a section where you go back into the past. Because the other day we had Minister Josephine Teo in here, and I said, no matter what you guys do when it concerns Singapore in this SG60 period, I'm a believer. If you don't know your past, you cannot build your future.
Definitely, yeah.
Where are you going,
Yeah,
right?
you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you came from. So I'm glad you're doing that. I really am. If there was one thing, both of you need to answer this. If there was one thing about Singapore that you hope would never change, what would it be?
You
I
first.
like the way he looks at
Look at each other.
It's really like you first.
Okay, I can go first.
Okay.
So I think you had a question earlier on as well about like catering to the young and the old and how we are designing experience for them.
Yeah.
I think similarly on that vein, I really hope that one thing that doesn't change is our celebration of diversity, embracing that. I think that also was one thing we really wanted to kind of preserve and prioritize in designing the experience too.
Okay.
So actually every user comes with that audio guide, with a set of headphones that Don was saying. He was like, please give me one. So with that, we actually were able to also have different language accommodations. So let's say if we have someone who prefers a mother tongue language instead of English, they can actually select it.
Wow.
So I really hope that I think moving forward, we still continue to maintain these sorts of, I think, sensitivities, as well as to find common ground with each other. So really the embrace of diversity is something I hope that remains part of the Singapore DNA.
Oh,
Nice.
that's very
Wow,
nice.
how do you follow an
I don't
answer
know.
like that, right?
You ask me go first?
So
You ask me go first?
I'm just gonna hit real low and just say I just hope that the taste of my favorite food doesn't get watered down over the next 50 years.
You see, this is Eurasians.
Yeah.
He says this, right? I was thinking, don't change the flavor of chicken rice.
There you go. Yes.
Can I change my answer?
See,
Yeah, no, really.
Change answer. what?
Chicken rice. I
Chicken
take
rice.
that.
But you know what? That is all part of our Singaporean
It is.
identity.
It
you know,
is. It is.
We are going to do something really fun, and if you thought that question was tough, hey.
Okay,
Oh,
listen.
dear.
We got 3 quick fire ones. Well, we got 2 quick fire ones and then one specifically for Don.
Oh, wow.
So let's start with Liana first and then Don. What does home mean to you?
Go.
BTO. You're talking to a new BTO homeowner. So that's my...
Congratulations!
Oh, thank you.
When
I've
is the
waited
key?
a
When
while.
are you moving in?
We moved in this year, but I waited 5 years for it.
Yes,
so I'm
yes,
very
yes,
happy
yes.
about
Ah,
it.
Yes,
nice.
congratulations.
So sanctuary, home, sanctuary.
Hey.
Don, what does home mean to you?
Home meant nothing to me until the very first day I met my future wife, my current wife. So
And then suddenly home.
yes, and
fun,
everything fit into place. So if you were ask me, I would say my wife.
Wow, nice.
Because she's tuning in right now.
It's
right?
earning points, right? She's like, you
Yeah.
better say something nice
That's-
about me. Yeah,
That's a
right, yeah.
million brownie points right there.
Hey,
You're set
you-
for the rest of your life.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's your fondest memory of Singapore and the Singapore spirit?
Me again.
Yeah.
Ladies first, lah.
I think I'm in the mode of thinking about music. So I think it's when you go karaoke and then like Home by Kit Chan comes on, then everyone's singing together.
It's true
I think that's when I feel the strongest sense of I am Singaporean.
Isn't that amazing how that song has affected an entire nation?
It's amazing.
Everybody.
And across generations,
Yes.
which I think is
That is
incredible.
very
Yeah.
true.
Incredible,
And you
incredible.
if you're not singing it right, you're swaying to
You're
it,
swaying
no
to it.
matter what.
It's one of
You
those
can at least hum
songs.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Don.
I think for me is when you go abroad. You almost have to go away to sort of like recognize what's special about home and all that, and just bumping into Singaporeans abroad, that gives you a sense of like okay, that's where I'm from, good or bad, right? But
I recently was in Korea.
Yeah.
And you can stand in the middle of Gangnam, right? All this noise, and then suddenly you go, wow, damn expensive here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's it, Singaporean.
I was in Switzerland and in the Lindt chocolate factory, right? And
Sure.
then there's this mechanism in which you put in your hands and chocolate will come out. And then I was there, and it was people from with all nationalities. This guy reached out his hand, and then you go, so small. And straight away I knew. I was
Yeah.
like, that's
Singapore.
that's my home. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Eh.
Do you have a fond memory of Singapore?
I
Lavinia?
do. It would have to be actually something to do with what Dawn says. It's when I return back. Every time when I return back to Singapore, you know what I mean? There's something about when the glass doors slide open, even the humidity hitting you. Yeah. Sorry? Yes, you get it. And then it just makes me tear because I'm back home. I am back home. Even when I'm sweating, but I'm I'm back home.
It's so interesting because you all have these memories, right? My fondest memory of Singapore, I was a child. My father's office was on Boat Quay. There was this man sitting, labourer, with his legs. He was sitting on legs dangling over the water,
Okay.
and he was eating an apple.
Oh.
And he had false teeth. So he had his false teeth in one hand, and he was going through the apple.
Huh?
And when he finished the apple, he was going to throw the apple into the river
Okay.
and put his false teeth in his mouth. He got it reversed. He threw his false teeth in the river and put the apple in his mouth. I will never forget that. And that's my happiest memory of Singapore, honestly. It's got nothing to do with coming home or anything.
See my partner. You see.
That's my happiest memory. Okay, one last one we got to do real quickly for Don. Can you ad-lib a jingle for the show? The Morning Drive with the Flying Dutchman and Lavinia.
The Morning Drive with Dutchman. He's the Flying Dutchman and Lavinia.
Yes,
Okay,
brilliant.
man. Pay you $50 for that one.
There we go.
Pass. Yeah. Alrighty, thank you so much. And once again, to all of you tuning in here, remember, just answer the simple question: where is the SG60 Heart and Soul experience taking place? WhatsApp in your answer, 885509113 to score yourself a pair of tickets to the experience itself. Guys, thank you so much for joining us
Awesome
here
having you.
on
Thank
the
you
Thank
show.
you so much for having us.
The Flying Dutchman.
With
It's catchy.
Lavinia.
With Lavinia. It's catchy. It's
Yeah.
catchy.
Because
I
the
like
shoulders
it.
and
Yeah,
all
you
that.
gotta work in the shoulders as well, right? You know, that's the only way.